Don't let your problems or pain define you, and don't be afraid to let go of them. I think a lot of us hold on to our trauma or whatever we go through as a way to give us some sense of identity, and we look at it and be like, this is what made me who I am. And while and part of that can be true, you don't need to keep referring back to it or keep holding on to it for you to just be you. You aren't beautiful because of your pain. You're beautiful because you just are. A lot of us hold on to agonies because we believe that's what makes our achievements so much more shiny or so much more deserving, so much more worthy, and so much more wow. But we are already that wow without that pain too. Okay, hi guys. I've done this video so many times because I'm a perfectionist and I need to get it like right, but I think I just need to let it go right now because I've done it so many times that I feel as if I will not get this video done if I just stop recording every time I say something I don't like. But it's okay because I'm human and things happen and it's okay. I just need to speak my truth. So, lesson number one, there is always love in pain. And I don't mean that to say you should glamorize and romanticize your pain because pain is a very shitty thing, but we don't need to villainize it. At least that's how I've learned to cope with it. I don't I've learned to not villainize my pain as something evil, but rather something that fulfills me. That's not to say I like being hurt. Like I just love when the world kicks me in the ass. No, I don't. But that is to say that when you care so much about something and you really value the experience or the outcome, the expectation, whatever it is, and it hurts you, that is again just a way to say that you care. Like, it hurts so much because I care so much about it. Or it's so disappointing because I value it so much. And it's okay to value things, and I find it a huge blessing to be able to value things and care about things so deeply that they're able to give you this like vast experience of human emotions that's not just gratification. Being able to sit with that pain and not let it define you in a negative way, but rather in a positive way, is a really helpful lesson that I've learned with my emotions. Lesson number two, gratitude. Gratitude is just like a huge thing that I can go on and on and on and on about forever. Always live in gratitude. This moment will always be fleeting, and I think there's so much power in being able to fall in love with the most mundane things of life. Like the trees, the sun, like the feeling of your bed in the morning. All these little things that we can easily overlook are things that could become huge catalysts to our day, to having like a good day, a day that you want to have. And these things never go away. So like the sidewalk or the trees, the sound of people, the sound of silence, all of these normal daily things that we can fall in love with literally helps change your inner world to your dream life. And I struggled with gratitude at first. It felt very forced, but once I've been doing it so often, it's become such a habit that at default I could just look at life as a huge gift. And I hope, I genuinely wish everyone on this world could see life that way, because that's what life is. Like everything that's so human, it's beautiful. It's so, sometimes it's unfathomable to grasp how lucky and how impossible everything is, but yet it still happens. So yeah, gratitude, it's a huge thing. Learn to appreciate the small things in life, obviously the big things. Appreciate your pain as much as you do your happiness. Like there's a lot of comfort in crying as there is laughing. It's just learn to live with love, gratitude, everything. Even when you're in your worst position or you feel like you've hit rock bottom, somehow, some way, find a way to accept that through gratitude, because I don't know, it's such a huge tool and an even better power to have. Lesson number 3: high school is ultimately a place that you develop. Like, find who you are, find your values, what you like, what you don't like. Don't be afraid to try things, because it's high school. Just a place to learn who you are at very low stakes. I love high school because it is such a small social place, but you're able to have so much experience within it, and to be young, it's just a beautiful thing. High school is a place of a lot of uncertainty, and it could be scary, but it could also be amazing. You can look at uncertainty and be like, wow, I have so many opportunities at hand, and it is a gift that I'm not stuck on one path, because that is what development is. You are open to developing in whatever way you want to develop. Lesson number 4: don't let labels dictate your life. And I mean that not in a way where, like, oh, labels don't define you, but labels also don't define other people. And I acknowledge that it's in our human nature to judge and perceive, but by living life under labels, you limit yourself from so much. And that includes identity, trying to put yourself under all these words, or trying to put others under these words just also limits connection. You're just you, and words don't define anything as it goes with other people. And you would be surprised about how much labels we put on others, but how similar they are to us. With a lot of our connections, you would find yourself getting along with people that don't share the same values as you, or don't agree on some experiences, and that's completely fine. And just because you guys disagree on something, or your labels are like polar opposites, doesn't mean you can't connect. Like, connection is not based on similarity, although it can be. It is just, you just can. Like, you don't need words. You don't need the superficial labels, stereotypes, niches. I know that's so hard in high school because everything is just so, like, labeled. But words don't define you or anyone else. Same with grades. Like, even if you're, like, the top student, ranked number 1, doesn't mean you're gonna be the most successful person in high school. And just because you're the class clown doesn't mean you're not going to move out, or just because you have bad grades doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. It's just a bunch of labels, and just don't put too much value on that. Lesson number 5: let your plans, goals, expectations change. This is a huge thing, because I feel as if in high school you can be very rigid to one idea or one plan, one expectation, one feeling, one anything, like your one identity, like, ooh, like, but this does not align with, like, freshman year me, or my sophomore me values, or my expectations I had for myself in, like, 3 years ago. Like, let things change, especially in the college route. A lot of people, they might be very, like, focused on going to a 4-year or going to solely one college, like a very pristine one, and that is completely fine. But I'm saying, if something else happens to appeal to you, maybe like a different major, a different route that you haven't thought about, whether that's no college or switching up your interest, your career, just, it's okay. Like, it can feel hard at times because we hold on to those things that feel as if they give us identity, but you don't need to follow what 3 years ago you thought you needed to follow. If you thought you were going to go to college your whole life, but then in high school you find out, like, oh, school isn't really my thing, it's fine. Just let it change. Lesson number 6: be unapologetically yourself. Be proud of your values, be proud of your goals. Know that what you care about is what you care about, and you don't need to change that for anyone. Whether that's being really weird, or, I don't know, having a little off sense of humor, whatever it means to you, just do it proudly. That's how you find your people. You will find your people by being you. Otherwise, you're finding a fake version of you and their community, and that's not how you want to live life. Like you will always have a community, no matter how weird you think you are, or how like minor your whatever is. That brings up my earlier point. You don't need to agree with someone to a T for them to be your people. Lesson number 8. This is a very personal one, but it's a very huge one for me because I feel as if it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Doom scrolling is a huge no-no. I actually am very against like media overconsumption, and I quit doom scrolling about 2 years ago. And I will probably make another video on this, but there is no way to like quantify how much like this has changed my life. And I think the reason why I say doom scrolling is a huge no-no is because I feel as if people use it as a tool to numb themselves habitually, which is really, really, really bad. We as humans need to learn how to be uncomfortable. You need to learn how to sit with yourself when you really don't want to. I feel as if doom scrolling takes away so much of us because we just get lost. Being able to sit with yourself when you're going through something is a huge helper to emotional regulation, conflict resolution, regulating your nervous system. It's not just about learning how to be uncomfortable, it's also learning about how to be bored and how to be creative, how to find out what actually makes you happy. And doom scrolling like kind of takes away, I feel, a huge part of that. Learning how to be bored and not automatically click on TikTok every single time, or Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts is a huge thing to developing your hobbies. And within your hobbies, you learn so much about what you like, what you don't like, yourself, and also how to be creative. Because creative is a bunch of action, and I feel like doom scrolling is a bunch of inaction. And you look at people being creative, but you're not actually the one being the creative, if that makes sense. And creativity, even if you're not an artistic person, it can look like anything. It's just your personal outlet. And to me, that's creativity. And having that personal outlet gets rid of needing to overly consume media all the time. Because if you feel something, you not only know how to sit with it, but you know how to make yourself feel better, and you know how to express yourself. It's a really important thing that I think more people need to do, because really, your life is so much better without doom scrolling. Like, it's so much better. I promise you. It was really hard for me in the first 2 weeks that I quit it, but then after, like, 2 years back, I am so grateful that I did what I did. Literally the best decision I made in my life. Anyways, that is enough about lesson number 8. Lesson number 9, not everything is personal. Some people do things without you in mind, and some people just don't click with you. Some things just happen, and sometimes it's just not personal. It's not always to hurt you. And even when it is, just gotta learn to be so rooted in yourself and love yourself so much, know who you are so confidently that it doesn't even faze you, because you know other people's actions does not say anything about you. Lesson number 10, your life outside of high school is so much bigger and so much more vast, but with that comes with so much more responsibility. High school can be very limiting in terms of space and experiences. A lot of things, it's very limiting because of our youth, our age, but learn to enjoy it because we don't have those adult responsibilities yet. We don't have all those other things to worry about outside of high school. Wanting to push for more freedom that you get as an adult, or more resources, experiences, I completely get that. But it's also okay to cherish your time now when you're young, even with those limitations, even if it feels like the only space you have is like your bedroom and like maybe a car, or you can't even drive, and it feels very limiting. It's okay, because those limitations come with like its pros, which is I urge everyone to cherish it while they still have it, because it will not be the same ever in a very short amount of time. Lesson number 11, you don't need to know what to do. And as someone who is very uncomfortable with uncertainty, I've learned to kind of cope over time that I don't need a concrete plan, because even the concrete plans I had, they change. And I've seen so many stories where sometimes you see history majors working in science or math majors working in the hospital. It's just your major and your occupation don't need to line up. Like, they don't really need to make sense. You will always find your place, even if you don't know what to do. If you know what you like to do, just do it. Like, everything else will fall in place after, you know? And there's a ton of people who don't know what to do. There's like adults even with jobs who don't know what to do. There's people who don't have jobs who don't know what to do. It's just like no one ever knows what the fuck they're doing, so it's okay that you don't. Plus, you're young. You're like, hope maybe, I don't know if you're older, but like at just like being so young, you don't need to be so sure of everything, because I don't think anyone is. Lesson number 12: you can still do everything right and fail, and that is just life. You can still put your all into something and your desired outcome isn't what actually happens. And this is applicable in so many situations in life. You can love someone your hardest and they don't love you back. You can study all night and still get an F on the test. You can try to do conflict resolution with someone and they still don't want to, even if you like give your all, you try to be reasonable, try to be logical. It's okay, because sometimes you can do everything right and the outcome is still not what you want. That is just life. So number 13: don't let your don't let your problems or pain define you, and don't be afraid to let go of them. I think a lot of us hold on to our trauma or our conflict, whatever we go through, as a way to give us some sense of identity, and we look at it and be like, this is what made me who I am. And while in part of that can be true, you don't need to keep referring back to it or keep holding on to it for you to just be you. And this is to say that you aren't beautiful because of your pain. You're beautiful because you just are. I feel as if a lot of us hold on to agonies because we believe that's what makes our achievements so much more shiny, or so much more deserving, so much more worthy, and so much more wow. But we are already that wow without that pain too. For example, flowers. We can look at a very beautiful flower or a very beautiful tree and admire its beauty because it is just that beautiful. And it's not because that flower has gone through like stages of rotting and like being garbage and whatnot. It's because it just is. Like, that flower is just beautiful. You don't need a painful backstory to be beautiful. You are already worthy even without it, just inherently. Yes, you do not need your problems to be beautiful. Don't need to hold on to them to be who you are, because you are always yourself, even without trying. Lesson number 14. No matter how much you go to other people for advice to look for the right answer, you will never find the right answer. And it's a little extreme. I do think people are very helpful in decision making, but ultimately you can't expect to go to like your friends, your family, whoever, and for them to tell you this is the right answer, this is what you need to make, because that's ultimately all up to you. The right answer is within you, not other people. You need to trust your intuition and go with your gut, even when it's a hard decision to make. Because yes, people can help you see both sides, but it's you who chooses which side to go to, you know? Ultimately, what I'm saying is, don't expect other people to make the right choice for you, because that is ultimately yours. Lesson number 15. This is in correlation to lesson number 14. The right answer is not always easy, and you still have to make it because you owe yourself that. It can be painful, it can be hard, uncomfortable, and it may be the last thing you ever want to do, but you still need to make that right answer, because you deserve it. You owe it to yourself to have long-term peace and in whatever that decision may gift you. Last lesson. Life is hard even when you feel as if it shouldn't be. And that's okay, because sometimes we feel really sad for seemingly no reason. We can get stuck in this spiral of guilt of, I have this, and that, and I've experienced XYZ, yet I still feel like this. And in doing so, you let things give value to yourself instead of you giving value to things. And also, in that same practice, we look at our emotions as something to justify, something to make logic of, and something to reason. And sometimes emotions just aren't logical. That's why they're two different things. We have emotion and logic, and sometimes they don't always mix. You can feel sad even though on paper there's no reason to. That's fine. That is fine. Yeah, your inner world dictates your outer world. You have the power to give value to things, and vice versa. It's just a matter of which life do you want to live. That is all I have to say. 16 lessons I learned at 16, and I hope that was helpful. Bye.